Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise.
These aren't the cables you're looking for.
Come with the force, this DVD player is.
You guys, we're so excited. Is there any open seats here? If there are any seats beside you that are open, would you guys do me a favor? Slide down the row, slide down so that people in the back can come and sit down. Or sit on Todd's lap, one or the other. Where's Steve? Steve here? Steve? Steve and his son. Steve and his progeny. I am Steven.
I'm going to record it, possibly put it up on YouTube.
Awesome. Here's a couple up here. I'm Kirok. There's a couple up here. It's coming through now, Con. Yeah, but there are 3, 4 right up here, guys, up in the front. Raise your hand if you want a neighbor.
Got one, too.
Like a good neighbor, Starfleet is there. Very good. I tell you what we'll do while we're waiting on a cable. We found out that the little RCA to RCA jack was bad. One side was bad. So she's running next door to see if we can steal one from one of the other rooms. But in the meantime, let me introduce ourselves and tell you a little bit about what you're about to see. Okay? My name is Vic and Todd. Thank you, guys. I am a voice actor for a lot of anime shows, video games, stuff like that. And this, of course, is my illustrious first officer.
Hi guys, my name is Todd Habercorn. I am Hall to his oats, or would it be oats to your Hall? Or...
Together we're air supply.
Yeah.
It's you and me, I'm forever alone, so lost without you. Whoa, she's got a cable!
And so, outside of vast knowledge of voice acting and film production things, Vic has vast knowledge of all of Starfleet's files. Everything Star Trek. I mean, this is the guy that used to record the show and fall asleep to it under his pillow. That's what he used to do. And so, I mean, he's like making Star Trek films and he was like in the womb. Now, you can only do it during the day because the lighting wasn't so good in the womb. But it's very hard to change the role of film, too. But he did that, he was making films, so he's been...
To seek out new life.
He's been doing it a long time. So yeah, he's been, I mean, nobody knows Trek like this man right here. And so... I mean, you can look at his phone case. It's a Star Trek Continues phone case. And so, it's pretty groovy.
We're good to go. Okay, is Steve here? Steve and his son? I'm sorry, because I definitely want to introduce him. Let me tell you what you're about to see. How many of you, cover that, turn that off.
Oh, I told her to take that because I didn't know it was playing like that.
Okay. You didn't see that. You didn't see it. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how many of you have seen episode 1 of Star Trek Continues? Oh, the rest of you are in for quite a treat.
Yay!
All right, let me tell you what you're about to see. A couple of years ago, I was asked by another fan group called Starship Farragut if I would be willing to come and direct an episode for them. These are some really good guys. They basically, as you can imagine, if you're Star Trek fans, they created a little web series of their own that follows the adventures of another starship in the fleet, the Farragut. So it was all original characters, and they'd been doing it for 6 or 7 years. But they had asked me if I would come and direct an episode for them because I have a pretty large background in film and directing and production. So I went and directed this episode for them. We actually got Todd to play a role in it, and at the end of the production, we had really hit it off. We'd become good friends, and an idea started forming in my mind. I know, dangerous stuff. But since I was a little boy, you guys, I ate, slept, and breathed the original series of Star Trek.
That's why you got scurvy, because there's no vitamin C in...
Yes, I got scurvy.
Yeah.
Or as Mr. Spock would say, spurvy. And, but I mean, when I was little, you guys, when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, I would take a cassette recorder and record the episodes every day, and then put the tape player under my pillow at night and listen to the episodes going to sleep. I memorized these shows. And my childhood dream was to get to play Star Trek.
So it was like, 3 plus 3, what is it, Mr. Mignano? I don't know, but I know that all the lines from Dagger of the Minds.
So, fast forward many years, and after doing this production with Farragut, I thought, you know what? Why don't we create a fan series to a level that nobody has done it yet? By that I mean, let's rebuild the whole soundstage. Not just a bridge, you know? Let's rebuild all of it. And let's make it like spot-on accuracy. Let's recreate everything the best we can. Let's get actors to actually play the characters. And people that, like, you know, really bring a good dramatic ability to the game. And then we brought in good friends of mine that were experts in shooting, like camera work and lighting and sound. And so we created Star Trek Continues. It picks up exactly where the original series left off. Who knows the last episode of the original series?
One person.
In the back, yes.
2 people. 3, 4,
Say it.
5.
Let it rip. Turnabout Intruder.
Going once, going
Exactly.
twice. 6 people. Okay.
Turnabout Intruder. Mr. Spock, control yourself. What we did was, and I invite you when you get home to check it out, go online. We created our very opening premiere vignette, was a little 2-minute piece where we recreated the last 60 seconds of Turnabout Intruder. Shot for shot, line for line, exactly the last anyone ever saw of Star Trek, the original series. But then at the moment where Spock and Kirk and Scotty go into the turbo lift and the door shut, and that was the end of the last episode, we just continued it. So when Kirk and Spock and Scotty step into the turbo lift, suddenly the camera is in the turbo lift with them. And the scene just continues as if it never ended. And so that was where we picked it up, like right where the original series left off. And then in January of this year, we all got together at the sets that we had been working so hard to build down in Kingsland, Georgia. We have a 9,600 square foot building down there. And we shot an episode of our first episode, and it's a sequel episode. If any of you are fans of the original series, and I hope a lot of you are, there was an episode of the original series called Who Mourns for Adonais? It was about the Greek god Apollo. Well, our episode that you're about to see is a sequel to that episode, and Mike Forrest, who played Apollo 45 years ago, reprises his role as Apollo.
Yeah.
In the episode you're about to see. I mean, he came out of retirement. Oh yeah, he was done. He was done. He did everything. Back in the day, he was in everything. And I approached him and asked him if he would be willing to do this, and he agreed, and so he came down and to the set, and we had a great time shooting the episode we're about to share with you. Now, before we go any further, I have to introduce you to one of your own home boys, my dear friend who has become a very integral part of Star Trek Continues. He is a Toronto man. He is a wonderful guy, and he's one of our executive producers for Star Trek Continues. Please give a round of applause to Stephen Dengler in the back there. And he's a producer, let me tell you. We need a chair. Come up here, Steve. Come on up here. So what we'd like to do is, we were only going to show like Act 1, just to kind of tease you. But then when we realized that so few people had seen it in here, if it's okay with you, we'd like to show you the whole episode. Is that all right?
Yeah!
Awesome. So what we'll do is we'll show it, and as soon as it's over, hopefully we'll have a few minutes that we can take a few questions and kind of get your feedback on it. The episode, by the way, friend us on Facebook. It's official. Star Trek Continues on Facebook. StarTrekContinues.com, our website. and the episode is available both on Vimeo and YouTube. It's been picked up by a lot of other websites that air video. It's only been online like about 2 months, and it's got 500,000.
Yeah, don't get the fan dub version. We've got the real deal here.
Yeah, those voice actors, they're horrible. All right, do we have control over the lights somewhere? I assume we do. In the back there? Somebody see a light switch? I'll bet you do. Shut down all the lights in the 700 rooms. Just do it, 3 p.m. Shut them all down. No, shut them all down. Oh, thanks, I know there are lights back there. Can we get... hit it.